last night. Team playing better could have done no more. We got the points, that's all that matters. Eddie triumphant. We got the points, moved up to 10th. Now the hard parts. Putting a run together. So we climb the table. Let's hope I'm right. We can put together a run. I hope, I pray. Now, as I have put the title, adult learning. Yeah. Good morning, Vivian. Well, the old fingers up. Pardon me. So, very good morning. Now we shall wait for. Well, there was 8. There's now 5. Wait for everybody else to come in. But one thing I do want to say is this. I mentioned it in the previous video of this morning, but I mentioned it in description only. And that is this. There's a person, a man called Donald. And if this man actually wakes up, yeah, he can move the markets. But that's if he wakes up. If he realizes the damage he has done. But we don't know that. Yeah. Now, I mentioned in 2025 some of the things I was going to be doing. And why it's taken so long. Well, the reason why is this. As you can see behind me, there is a plant. There is a cupboard. Yeah. But there's nobody else. There's just me. And that's part of the problem. Yeah. Because I don't want to stop adult learning. I don't want to stop it because it's fun to stretch your brain into new things. things that you would never even dream of. Yeah. What I mean by that is creating a form of social media where there is protections, there are guardrails to stop people doing daft and stupid things. Now, one of my friends said to me this the other day. There were pictures and images on Facebook, and they are horrific, truly horrific, mentioning an American person. Why they've been posted, like I said in the phone conversation with my neighbour, why they have been posted is beyond reason. But that's America. America is the home of YouTube. Yeah, like I'm wearing my YouTube shirt, sweatshirt. Yeah. And what I'm looking at doing is getting something brand new. I'm just waiting for it to come. That's so that I can, you see, all of the people are saying that it's very, very light. I'm going to hopefully change that. Now, there's a lot of people. There's 8 people so far. We've got 1 like, and I'm assuming the 1 like is from Vivian. Yeah. Now, nobody else has actually come into chat. They're all watching from the sidelines. You don't really learn anything watching from the sidelines. That's the honest. Yeah. And I believe in being honest as a Geordie. Yeah, that's me. Now, one of the things which I was trying to do, yeah, was give certain areas of what I'm doing time. That you can never ever get that time back. Once you've done that time, it's gone. Yeah. So I've divided my time between seeking-u.co.uk. I've divided my time between geordie-nation.co.uk. I've also divided the time between doing things in a certain way, which is building a new show. And building the new show, I decided to do something as the backing of the show. There's a problem. The problem is this, that when this was all happening, yeah, and you create with artificial intelligence, it is not cheap. And that's the honest thing. It's not. It costs you money. So, a financial disclaimer, which means this: when you go to do something that's long term, not short term, long, 10 years, 20 years, or more. Yeah. Now, in April, of this April coming, whether I want to or not, I'm 59. And it's time to change things. Yeah. Change things for the better, though. Because hopefully by April, somebody else is going to be holding the camera. point at me. Yeah. And if I get what I want, they'll be holding the camera here in the UK, but they'll be holding the camera in other places as well. One of those places, like YouTube wants me to do, is somewhere called Milan. Yeah. But it depends upon you. Yeah. If you want me to go out there to Milan and record, live stream, we have to raise the bar from down here up here. Yeah. And this is one of the things that it's an ongoing thing. It's not just yesterday, the day after, whatever. You know, what I'm trying to do is give you on here diversity with I play. Yeah. Now, the way it's looking on 14 minutes is this. We have Vivian in chat and 7 people who are sitting on the fence. Not good. Them 7 people are not in chat along with Vivian. So you've left her by herself. Is that right? Heavy Metal Footy, you're the second one in. Good morning. You should be out and enjoying life rather than stressing about over. I'm not stressing over them. I am not stressing over them. No. What I'm trying to do is this. I said to you about a couple of things in 2025 around about the same time as we are now. Well, give or take a month. But one thing I want to say to you all is this. A Geordie's word should be their bond. Yeah? And what I mean by that is this. When I said to you about Seeking You, when I said to you about Geordie Nation, they're online. They are there available for you. Then there was the other bits and pieces. Yeah. I'd love to type in chat if you didn't ban my account for typing. Okay, so somebody's just come in called Ponder. And the thing you've got to understand is this, Ponder. Yeah. When you're a content creator, that's what you do. Yeah. You large pond. Oh, well, the mods banned you. Therein lies your problem. The problem is with the mods, what you've said. Yeah. Well, another thing you've got to look at is this. Yeah. YouTube, what does it actually do? Does it sprinkle magic? Does it? Or have you got to put in the work? Yeah. Because if you've got to put in work to do things, like I just played my guitar. Yeah. I was just singing a song. Yeah. Now, Dingle Don Dingleberry. Very good morning, Paul. I've been a long time watcher, but only recently been able to chat. Looking forward to release of Mighty Magpie Show. Any update, on when it will be ready. Well, I've hit a brick wall with the Mighty Magpie Show, and the wall is financial. So let me just explain, right? When you get this, the program Flova.ai gives you the opportunity to become a director, like Steven Spielberg, Quentin Tarantino, Martin Scorsese, just to name a few very famous directors. And you have to tell Flova every little segment of information. You've also got to put guardrails in so that the AI sticks to the guardrails, like a train. Up north, it would be called a metro. Yeah. And if the metro was to go around a corner too fast, the possibility of a derailment would be pretty high. Yeah. Some mods are a bit power hungry. Well, it is what it is. I mean, it's YouTube, isn't it? One thing is simple. Yeah. They're your mods, says Ponder. Yes. Chosen. What do you mean it's YouTube? Well, you're on YouTube, in case you haven't worked that one out. And YouTube has limitations. Those limitations are basically you can't put certain things here. You're not allowed to. Yeah. I do have control on who the mods are. Yes, I do. Now, getting back to the Mighty Magpie Show. Hours and hours and hours sitting right here in this seat, giving instruction, and bits 99% being the way I want it. But as your credits drop, problems arise, i.e., jerkiness. Parts that did work don't work. And I was looking at this, and what it was saying was I had upgraded to starter to bring you a show. And giving all of the information, all of the prompts, and adding to the prompts the guardrails, it can't skip or go around. Pardon me. All this uses your credits. Now, I can upgrade again to basic from starter, but what I've got to do is this. I have to do it a full year in one go. Now, considering I've just done starter, which was $197. We don't use dollars, so it had to be a conversion. Yeah. And that was to get me something I thought was brilliant. It's epic. But I've hit that point where I've got to do it again. And this is why I created MMS. So that MMS would help to pay to get not just episode 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, beyond, but series 1, series 2, 3, and carry on. That's what I want, because football and life in general. Why do you need to pay? Yeah, it's the way it works. Some of them are monthly. Yeah. Give you an example. The sandbox for seeking-u.co.uk, that's monthly. Yeah. Even that is rising to $58 per month. Yeah. And this is all part of being a creator. You can see there is an option to pay monthly on Flover. All right. I will be on that like a hot rock. So, you've said that, and that is from where was it from? At Pond. Let me just stop you in your tracks, like throwing a brick wall in within your route. Why? What was he saying? Maybe try actually making something instead of generating AI slop. So let me just throw the ship's anchor in the way. There are many different things that AI can do. Those companies that are using artificial intelligence, they are spending hundreds of billions. Hundreds of billions. Okay, it is in dollars. I will give you that. However, if you're spending hundreds of billions of dollars, it's still a currency. Yes, we don't use that currency here in the UK. That's correct. But it still doesn't take away the fact to create anything using artificial intelligence, it comes with that value. And that's being straightforward and as honest as can be. Road Dog, what's happened is I have hit a brick wall. I've gone through 5,000 credits. That cost me $197. So I had to convert GBP to dollars because it's American. So I've hit an impasse. And because I've hit the impasse, I'm switching direction now to back to seeking-u.co.uk. Because there is the MMS on Radium, there is. However, if nobody buys, then it doesn't move. And like I said, when I created because I've got this written down. MMS, the Mighty Magpie Show, has 20.8 million in the pot. And the others have 47.3 and 34.2. And that stays where it is until at least 2030. So there we go. What else? Good morning, Kevin. That literally didn't address anything due to the fact that you're not making anything but generating. Right. I'm going to deal with Pond myself because there are no mods today. And what I'm going to say to Pond, large pond, big pond, humongous pond, is this. This is obviously not the place for you. Okay? It takes time and energy and effort to do what I'm doing. So I'm going to give you the biggest break ever. And it's this. There we go. People, you can, I'll say this to you all. There's 12 people here and there's only 2 likes. But what I'll tell you is this. I was born Aries. That's my star sign. And I will only take so much of a person who basically cannot stand anything I am trying to achieve. If you are that person who can't abide by my rules, yeah, what I'm trying to do, this is not the channel for you. Yeah. And there's a billion content creators. I am just one of them. So you could apply for a loan, raise. If you've already used, how many more do you foresee having to get episode 1 sorted? Well, I started off on starter, which was $197. There's $271 left, 271 credits left. And what it showed me after a refresh of doing it for 10 hours straight, 10 hours in this chair, I wasn't happy with. And what I was thinking of doing was contacting the company behind Flowvar to turn around and say, hold on, I've just upgraded because I want episode 1 out. And we have changed bits in the show. That's true, we have. We've changed from what is St James's Park right now to brand new stadium. So we have done that, which is quite a bit of the credits. But what I'm going to say to them is this. To go through and do monthly would be brilliant, but you're asking yearly. And to buy the basic, I went for the expert, which is 28,000 credits. Because I don't know how long it will take. Are you just going to get AI response. I'm going to try. I'm going to see. Look, I'm going to say to them this: I paid for 5,000 credits, and I'm having to keep putting guardrails in, so something isn't right. And some of the bits where I've watched it like 2 minutes and 2 seconds worth of footage, and I've went, whoa, that's not right. And then having to correct it. It puts you in the seat, in the hot seat, like your Spielbergs, your Tarantinos, and many other, like Don Simpson, famous people. But maybe you'll get credits on the house. I don't know. I mean, I'm going to keep logging into it each day to see if there isn't so many credits they're going to keep on giving you. But it's annoying when what I want to be able to do is, it was giving me a minute and 50 seconds, and I went, well, I need more than that. You can't learn much in that. And I've given it enough information. Now we have players. But even the players on the pitch, that's going to take maybe, what, I don't know, a couple of thousand credits to get those players to do what I want them to do. Because in the Mighty Magpie show, the young magpies are what will make you burst out laughing. They're kind of cocky with the players, while mum and dad are communicating with Eddie, Jason, etc. But yeah, so these are things which are unique. It will be. I mean, if I can get it to half an hour, and during that half an hour, you go, wow, what, didn't see that coming, or you are like telling your friends about what the little magpies are doing, where they are within St. James's Park, and famous things like one of the part of the script is, "Watch your heat, Bonnie lad," and I'm not going to give you much more than that, but it actually does have like Broad Geordie in it, you know. Well, as Raw Dog is saying, a scene is this: as the opening credits start, yeah, you got one of the parents. Right, this is what we're going to do today. We're going to go on a fly-in mission. Because the parents, one of the key things with the parents is to say to the young ones, flight, i.e., raising off the floor, flying somewhere, and how you interact with what's your surroundings, whether that is circling St. James's Park, being inside St. James's Park, where you have decided to be a little bit cheeky, because young magpies are cheeky. I wanted that in the show, because young kids can be. Yeah, I used to be one. So, having the nerve to do something, and then the mum or the dad or maybe grandpa, where you gone? Get your wings back here, because they're wanting to explore. And this is the educational bit, you see, with like the gate, where the corner of the Sir John Hall, where the players like would come from their cars and they'd walk along the sideline of the pitch, as well as way up high, you're seeing the family. Yeah. And the family is looking down, and what they're saying, I mean, right at the end of the scene is the little ones saying, "Welcome to the show," and heavy metal 40. Paul, I'd worry these low-end AI generators lack the vision you have. Well, no, because what you've got to look at is this. Yeah. When it's done its work and it says, "What do you think?" And you turn around and you say, "I'm going to give you 9 out of 10. What do you think 9 out of 10 means? See, why it wasn't 10 out of 10 was because little small errors had been made. And because of that, I couldn't give the perfect 10. But the more it's learning, the better. And what I want to say to you all is this. Adult learning, yeah. I'm coming up to 59. Do I want to stop learning? No. That's simple. Like my nana said to me when I was a little nipper, the day you lose your imagination, that's the day everything goes downhill. So I'm keeping this working, yeah, stretching, using boundaries within AI and taking it like elastic band and stretching it to break it, so that AI, if you imagine this, I want you to imagine this as well. You're trying to teach someone that is eager to learn what you're doing, and to give it that knowledge and that power. Yeah. Now, as people turned around and said before about, yes, there is AI slop. Yes, 100%. I watched one last night, which wasn't long, and it showed you London. Yeah. And it was about a big disaster wave coming at London, like the raising the London barriers didn't stop it. Good morning, Geese. it. But in that AI slop, why they put it out as a video, why they did that, no idea. But you could see parts of it that did not make sense. And there's like, what, a couple of 100,000 views of it. But wouldn't it be better if the person who designed that, when you've got people, the floodwaters coming in to London, yeah, people rushing down these steps to look, you wouldn't do that. If, there's a huge wave of water, the last thing you're going to do is stand there and look at it. But they did in the video. And eventually, when, like, traffic jam, the voices didn't sync, because you heard people turn around and, speaking to the bus driver, why aren't you moving forward? He can't move forward because there's a big crowd in front of him and there's also vehicles in front of him. But it's still there. Then it cuts to another scene, and I was like, this is an AI slop. Road Dog. Good morning, Mark. But Road Dog, what I've done is this. MMS is a coin. MMS has one specific thing, and it's the Mighty Magpie Show. So that's available, and I don't need to go and speak to any kind of funding place because it's already there. MMS. Put there because, like Donald said on Air Force One, supporter coin. His words, not mine. Yeah. Don Dingleberry, it makes you wonder if AI is actually capable of creating something deemed worthy. Yes. Well, AI is capable. Yes, it is. It's how you get to the finished article. Like the one which I had, which was 1 minute and 58 seconds, had 9 out of 10. And I wanted to stretch it. So I did. I stretched it. High-end AI could not these credit-based ones. Well, what you're looking at for high-end is like companies, OpenAI, one, Anthropic, two, where I could go down that route with Anthropic and say, this is the idea, these are the screenshots, and if I can do one prompt per video, just one prompt, same way you do in chat. I always get this one wrong. Chat GPT. I think that's what they call it, where you can give it the prompt. An entire episode in a single prompt is not possible in you. I wish it was. It's not. See, I can, like, giving one of the hardest parts is when you've watched like a scene play out. One is stopping it where something needs to change. That's one part of it. Second part is the guardrails and writing all the information in the prompt box, and it does understand you. It does understand you. What you're saying. Have you told Flova how important? Yes, I have. What I've said to them is the finished article, which would be episode 1, episode 2, episode 3, and more. I would like 1 million views. And it just went, wow. But 1 million views is just the short bit. There's 8 billion people live on planet Earth. Yes, Raw Dog, that part, wow, storyboards, man, Gordon Bennett. The storyboards are for the Young Magpies. And there's a special in the same sentence of the Young Magpies, but you'll find out through each episode. If you've got a 2-minute video at 9 to 10, why didn't you do a bunch and edit them together yourself? I'm not an editor. I never have been. All of the stuff that I do doesn't go into YouTube Studio and then gets messed around with. This video will be going, after it's done, boom, straight onto the platform for people to watch. So there's no editing. I haven't got the technical skills to edit. Sorry. The AI they use understands you, but it's not advanced enough to make it work for you. In the meantime, it's taken from your bank. Valid point, Heavy Metal Footy. Yeah. Are you paid one in the first episode? No. I'm not. I'm undecided on which direction. Did the marketer ever come crawling back? Oh, so therein lies the problem. It's just a small problem because MMS is available. But if nobody buys MMS, then there is an issue. It will be this in 2026, all episodes. It will be by hook, or is it by hook or by crook? I think it is. There will be all of the episodes in 2026. So that series 2 can be in January of 2027 and then carry the same thing through. That's the voice. Did you see the last post from Copycat Channel? Yep, Daz, here's the point. And I want you to take this point on board. All of the things from the other channel, they're not using that. What they're doing is copycat. Exactly that. You know? Was the episode with 2 magpies in Paul's garden? No. So, as I was saying to you, when, which is the title, Adult Learning, when is your time? You out there watching, when's your time to turn around and say, I've learned enough? People are going to take the biscuit, Daz. They are. That's life. Sadly, there are people in America where YouTube was born. There are people over in America who do what they want and say to everybody else, well, like it or lump it. But one thing I will say to Daz and everybody else, my ideas, that's where they are. I don't tell you everything. I don't show you everything. Because copycats. So yeah. I'm not going to say things to you that aren't true. What you see is what you get. Okay? And when I said to you, Seeking You and Geordie Nation, they're there. They're available. Things I have to do with Geordie Nation in the next few days is exactly the same thing I did with Seeking You, which is get the API keys. So when you record, or anybody records on Geordie Nation, goes to Facebook, goes to X, and everywhere else. Yeah, but Road Dog, you're always going to get people who they want to copycat because they think at the end of the day, here's an example, right? Sunderland Nation. Yeah, Sunderland Nation. How did that come about? Geordie Nation. Let's copycat it. Geordie Nation, yeah, is about Newcastle and every single thing in Newcastle. Do I live there? No. But that's the focus. And when that person turned around and said, can we buy it? No, it's not for sale. You know what I mean? But that's the honest truth for you at the end of the day. When people turn around and say, oh, well, we'll try a cheeky bid of 100,000. You see, all the projects is not for a year. It's for a decade. And if it gets to a decade, for another decade. Now, somebody's laughing in chat. Somebody's having a very good old giggle. They run across the floor. Please don't laugh too hard. You might end up ill. Why don't you do a video to Cheryl Tweedy about her singing Streets of Home? Do I have to? Honestly, do I have to? If a very famous person wants to sing one of my songs and make a lot of money off it, when I have made my money, and I say to the legal team, right, apparently somebody's took one of my songs, can you sort it out? But yeah. Now, I thank you all for being here, and remember this, yeah, super stickers, super chats, memberships, it's all available. Yeah, there's also MMS and others available as well. Now, I think I take stuff, like if I'm building stuff, it's got a point. It has a real world asset. Yeah. What sets these new coins apart from the old ones? They're exactly the same coin. Exactly. There is no change. The only change is they're not on coinbook.fun. They're on another platform called Radium. And their sole purpose is, like Donald said on Air Force One, they are a supporter coin named after something that they are supporting. That's it. There's nothing hard about it. I mean, yes, the markets are getting kicked. Yes, they are. And not in the nice way. Which is why I said in the previous video in the description, it's time Donald woke up and realized. Because he's lost money as well. He hasn't lost a lot, but he has lost. Colin's saying, I think we can take what Don't says with a pinch of salt. Sometimes he's barking mad. But explain that one, Colin. I've already mentioned to YouTube. And I will be speaking to Mozzo as well. Anyway, I thank everybody for coming in and spending an hour with me. Thank you. Hope to see you all 7 p.m. So have a wonderful day.